Hey guys, this is Rob Stanley with Feedback Wiz. I'm here with Chris McCabe from e-commerce. Chris, how you doing, Chris?
Pretty good. Thanks for having
Good.
me.
Thanks for being on. So there, a big article just came out recently talking about a lot of the black hat going on in China, specifically with the Amazon marketplace and some of these techniques that are being used by
Right.
some sellers. And I wanted to just get you on and kind of get some comments from you, regarding people using these and the effects that can happen when they do use them. And then we're going to go over like things you should be doing that are not black hat that can help you on Amazon. And I mean, being that we're a feedback company over here, we help customers a lot with getting, more product reviews. And of course, we're Feedback Wiz's terms of service compliant.
Mhm.
But we do get asked that question. We get asked the question all the time on, is there any shortcuts or things I can do, or and I'm sure you can even address these. But Chris was quoted on this article, Chris. So why don't you just kind of give everybody a little background of how you're basically an expert in this field, and maybe some tips to get things going.
Sure. I mean, I worked in what are commonly known as seller performance teams for several years. Performance evaluation of seller accounts, policy enforcement, of course, sending warnings and enforcing violations up to account suspension. So now a lot of my work is helping sellers understand those policies, understand how they might have broken the rules, and how they need to get reinstated with Amazon's appeals process, which is commonly writing a plan of action, what's known as a POA, and having the right kinds of content in the POA, but also executing those improvements that Amazon expects you to implement before they can reinstate you and accept your appeal. Review abuse is a hot topic around Amazon right now, and I'm glad we're talking about it. I'm glad the press is interested in it because it's out of control. And there's a lot of fake negatives on the site. There's a lot of fake positives on the site. It's a bit wild west right now, and Amazon does have teams in place to review these and enforce the policies, but of course, never enough hours in the day to do it all. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is really a hot topic. It used to be one of those things that a few years back, people could just pay a few bucks, get product reviews,
Right.
and obviously Amazon's caught on to that. They're starting to clean it up. Their reputations online is the way I see it. So,
Yeah.
they're trying to, when I go shopping on Amazon, I read the reviews, and
Mm-hmm.
you can get everything from people just writing that are not verified to looking deep into the reviews to just, you can tell the product was something completely different.
Yeah, yeah. The different product, when you look at the older reviews, that's known as ASIN reuse. That means they've got somebody in catalog, somebody helping them make changes to the listing so it looks like their product. But then you go back like a couple of years and it's like 5-star reviews for a shoe or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an extremely common tactic. It's kind of unfortunate they haven't built tools to capture that just yet. But yeah, the review space is too hot button. It's attracting too much negative attention for Amazon right now. So if they can't throw head count and manual investigations at the problem, they're going to have to improve their machine learning or create some automation that's going to address this better. Right now, sometimes if they're suspicious of reviews on an ASIN, they'll pause the ability to leave a review for that ASIN, and there's a delay. Maybe there's a lag of 5 or 6 days. Maybe it's a permanent thing where that particular reviewer or that particular ASIN won't accrue additional reviews. I mean, reviewers are kind of being watched anyway for their pattern of behavior. So sometimes people are seeing reviews deleted just because the reviewer lost all the reviews that they've ever left for anybody on Amazon. So that's something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And I mean, we see a lot of the unverified ones that show up, and people get asked a lot of questions about those. And, it's kind of, to me, and this is just my personal opinion, but why not just verify all the reviews, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what's your thought?
I mean, from my perspective, verified reviews are just as much of a problem.
Sure.
Simply because there are black hat services that are, I guess, highly developed or sophisticated who will provide buyer accounts if they're paid enough, and the buyer accounts will have no connection to you. If they do it in a certain way, maybe even no connection to each other within the black hat services, but those buyer accounts will leave you favorable reviews over a certain amount of staggered over a certain amount of time. in a certain way. If they're really sloppy, maybe the wording will be the same. If they're not sloppy, then it will look like you've, boosted your reviews by 500 or 600 over the course of a couple of weeks. And, that should be suspicious. You would think it's obvious when you look at some of these, but those are verified reviews. Those are all verified reviews. They're just not any more real than some of the fake unverified ones. So,
that's 100. I totally get where you're coming from. The one thing we've seen in the last few weeks is a lot of notifications going out to people regarding, their subject line when they're sending out asking for a product review.
Yeah,
and
that happened to one of my clients.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, I can tell you in the case of one of my clients. I mean, I have a lot of ongoing clients. Of course, they're not suspended; they're active sellers. They aren't really guilty of anything that they were warned for. So we finally tracked it down to the subject line, but that's really nitpicky at this point. They're not in that long list of potential product review abuses that Amazon lists in the messaging they send out. My client in this particular case wasn't doing any of those things. I'm certain that they weren't. So it becomes a question of, is a competitor trying to get them suspended by accusing them of things, or is Amazon really looking into the nitty-gritty of something like a subject line that says we need additional information? But what does that mean exactly? That's not the same as asking for a 5-star review. Clearly they're taking it to an extreme. So I spend a lot of time just cautioning people to be conservative and play it safe right now until the dust settles on these new practices and policies, because the way they're enforcing it is just off the map.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. And the one thing we've seen, and so with Feedback Wiz, we actually, we have templates that we provide.
Right.
And all our templates are TOS verified. We make sure that they're all compliant. But as soon as you modify something in it, now it's not what we created for you to send out.
Right.
And one thing we've seen is people saying stuff like, if you leave me a good review, you can't have that sort of if statement.
Those days are over. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't try to indirectly sway them by saying the word good or positive. You can't. You can't do those words. And then, that's just something that as soon as you do that, that's going to just red flag it right there. And
Amazon asks for third-party services that you're using. They want you to name names, but there's a big difference between, we were using this Facebook group to buy fake positives and we were paying buyers through PayPal. There's a difference between asking for those services and saying, which company do you use to integrate with our API and send some messaging out to buyers post-order, which has been vetted in for best practices and it's already, TOS compliant. They're not asking for the company. It's not, we're using this particular company, unless it's like a black hat service. Obviously, they're looking for you to name the black hat service. If it's a company that's providing templates, have you modified them? It's more what you send and what you do to them than it is the basic template that you're given. So, and I know you're going through templates and you're very conscious of this, and so am I. I had to create a recent service around this just to look at people's messaging before they started sending it out, because a lot of sellers do tell me we think this is 100% compliant, and they show it to me and I start poking holes in it, unfortunately. So
how many times do you see people misusing important in the subject line?
That's relatively newer. That was like April. That's just the last few weeks that we've been paying more attention to that. I only had one client get warned for it, but now word is out that you have to really be conscious of the subject lines. And that wasn't something, it's so recent, I haven't even had a chance to write an article about it. I probably will have to, because I think with product review abuse teams, and I don't know, how often you've interacted with them directly yourself, but they tend to go for the lower hanging fruit, the easier to spot, easier to find violations, right? They're not necessarily hammering away all day at Facebook trying to get these groups taken down the way I kind of think they should be, but that's another story. The Facebook groups.
When you get that article up, let me know. I'll definitely put a link to it, because we're seeing a lot of misuse of the word important, right? And I always try to tell people, the proper way to use important. Let's say you're in a baby category or something, like there's a recall.
Right, exactly.
That's a time you use important. That's important. A part needs to be replaced, or it's a recall on something.
I can explain what their perspective is and why they're coming from it, this angle though. They're saying you're not really, it's not additional information or important information for something they need for their order. They think you're being misleading, and anything misleading has to be done away with. And then also they think you're kind of inducing only positive reviews if you do the if-when statement. There's a problem with the order, contact us. That likely won't result in a review because it would tend to be negative. No problems with your order, you're totally happy, here's the review link. So anything at this point that's encouraging positive review behavior and discouraging or dissuading them against from leaving a review in case there's a problem, anything that fits that criteria is open for violation enforcement. So
yeah, that article covered a lot, just to kind of switch a little bit. That article covered a lot about people already being suspended,
right?
And basically the capability of getting them back on. It was crazy. I mean, when I was reading that BuzzFeed article and the different menu of things available was just ridiculous. Yeah. And
anything's available at this point. Everything's on the table.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed is, I was reading a different article actually recently, and they were talking about Amazon, kind of pulling out of China there.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had mentioned something that, hey, I wonder if part of pulling out of China is to limit the access of some of the people that are over there, which could cut down on some of this.
I don't think that was the main driving factor, because Amazon will still have a lot of employees that are China-based. Hopefully it reduces the headcount in China, which means there'll be fewer employees with less access to the tools to share that data and leak it on the black market, because that's what employees have been doing. They've been leaking the data. People they leak it to outside the company create software and online tools out of it, or they create services based on what they learned from going through the data. And it's not data that's supposed to be publicly available at all. So if some people are going to, the reduced workforce over there means some people who have access to this stuff will lose it, then yes, that's part of the decision maybe, and that's a good thing. But I don't think it'll make much of a dent. I mean, they have to see what the people who remain in Amazon China are going to do. I've heard everything. I mean, I think the web retailer article I wrote, I called it a black hat buffet. I've heard of everything being available if you're willing to pay for it at this point.
Yeah, it baffles me, because it seems like the people that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like a lot of the people that are using it are usually people starting out. They're trying to build up their platform. They're trying to get the products up there.
Right.
Most of the big ones have already established themselves. They've been around. I've always been the type of person that you find a unique product, it's going to speak for itself. Use products out there that are TOS compliant, and put some time in and just build up your product and build up your brand. I mean,
marketing.
Yeah. But everyone,
old-fashioned marketing. Yep.
They all want that shortcut, right? Yeah.
I mean, people using Facebook, Facebook's a great tool for marketing, for brand awareness, brand building. I mean, it's not something like using Facebook groups in and of itself. It's, well, what kind of groups do you tend to gravitate to? Do you go to the people who are saying, pay us a certain amount of money and we'll find a great shortcut, and maybe it's compliant, maybe it's not, but you're on your own with that? I mean, Amazon's not the company to do that with. Maybe you can get away with certain things like that. I don't know, on eBay or on Walmart.com or all the other e-commerce platforms. But with Amazon, they're the most aggressive in terms of policy enforcement, and they're the strictest, in terms of an e-commerce marketplace, they're the strictest enforcement you'll probably ever find. So just be aware of it, whether you're new or old. I mean, Amazon policy investigators kind of don't care. If you're saying, well, we're just starting out, so we're looking to get some new product reviews so we could get some sales rank and start showing up in some searches. Or if you've been on for 8 years, I mean, it's sort of like the policy's the policy. The more you abuse it or violate it, the more work you're creating for Amazonians. So you're making their, you're making their problems worse when you create headaches like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chris, thanks for being on. And if people want to get a hold of you, how they get a hold of you?
Right. So my website, ecommercechris.com, I've got a contact form in there if you want to send me some messaging. I mean, I also have a 30-minute service for that, which is pretty affordable. You can also email me at chris at ecommercechris.com. So it's CHRIS at ecommercechris.com.
Perfect. And again, I'm Rob with Feedback Wiz. So if anybody needs help on getting more product reviews, take a look at Feedback Wiz. Chris, thanks again, and I appreciate your time.
Thanks so much. Take care.
All right, bye.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for more information, please visit feedbackwiz.com.